Mm. Today we are going to discuss Hume, Kant, and one IR theory. One IR theory. Okay. In IR, there are two important schools. One is realism and another is liberalism. We discussed realism, and today we are going to discuss liberalism. Okay. But before that, Hume. Tell me, who will summarize Hume?
Shall I try, sir?
Karim, please.
Yes, sir. So till now, we have seen like Plato was giving more importance to reason. So now Hume comes and says like many philosophers who thought reason is the base for what I mean, how people are becoming moral or something like that. So it is not reason, it is one's own sympathy or passion towards a particular aspect is what Hume believes.
Just one second. Just one second. So it is not reason that makes people ethical, but sympathy. And sympathy is a sensation. So why is that important? You know, people like Socrates were discussing elaborately to think, and thinking is a human faculty, to be rational, dialectics. And this man comes and says, it is not all that thinking, it is about feelings and sensations. Deepthi, what do you say? Did you read Hume? Deepthi, did you read Hume? You didn't unmute.
Yes, sir, I did go through him.
Tell me, what do you say about this? The idea of sympathy as the source of morality.
Sir, I do agree about sympathy to some extent, but it may not be entirely true.
Okay.
It may be one of the factors. Maybe socialization, learning along the way, and some level thinking also might have contributed.
Okay. How does socialization contribute?
No reinforcement. By that also, we may be rewarded or not rewarded for our behavior. So it may shape our thinking. Why do we behave ethically? That may be a reason too.
Rewarded, and can you give an example? One thing I can suggest in your answers is, I mean, almost all the answers are coming out to be good. So I really don't have much to say, but let us see what happens in a real examination. But I can tell you, you try to increase the number of examples. Okay, that is one.
Okay,
Number two, you please, the rationale for giving them on Padlet is that you can see others' answers. You please go through others' answers also.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So that is one, and then give examples, more and more examples. Okay.
Okay.
So can you give one example, Deepthi? What do you mean by socialization as a source of morality?
Sir, for example, as kids, when we don't really understand what is good and what is bad, when we look at family members doing certain things, or when family members reprimand us for lying or stealing or other things.
Exactly. Just one second. So when family members reprimand children for lying or stealing, then they will understand stealing is bad and lying is bad. That is true. But why do family members reprimand for stealing?
So they have already identified it as unethical.
Just 1 second. They have already identified it as unethical. That's true. But is there any society where stealing is not regarded unethical?
Yes, sir. Maybe pirates or somebody who is coming from extremely deprived backgrounds where
Exactly.
stealing becomes compulsory for
Please.
survival.
Please. Pirates. Will pirates steal among themselves?
Oh, no.
Just 1 second. Deepthi.
Maybe not, sir.
Maybe not, or they are not likely.
Not likely.
Because if pirates, 10-15 pirates want to attack a ship and then they want to take the bounty, okay, but they should behave like a team, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
If one steals the other, then they will not be successful in their expedition next time. So among the pirates, there will be a moral code that you should not steal mine, and together, all of us together, we can steal some others. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It means non-stealing will be a norm within a group. So among the pirates, non-stealing will be a virtue and stealing will be a vice, though they themselves rob the society.
Yes, sir.
Which means stealing is a vice everywhere.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Stealing is a vice everywhere. Then Hume is asking, I mean, why is it so? So you can say through socialization, family conveyed non-stealing as a virtue to the child. But why should that be conveyed is an issue. Why is it being conveyed?
Sir, can you repeat the question one more time?
So parents may convey non-stealing as a virtue to the child. But why should that become a virtue? That is what Hume is asking. Okay, so Hume is not denying the role of socialization. So he is asking why socialization in that way? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Nor Socrates denied socialization. Plato did not deny socialization. But it is true, virtues and vices are conveyed through socialization, through reward and punishment. But the question is, why do certain things become virtues and vices? That is the question. So those who are saying these are virtues, these become virtues, these become vices, are not saying anything against socialization, are not neglecting the impact of socialization. They are conveyed through socialization. But why did in the first place become the virtues and vices? So is the point clear?
Yes, sir.
So now here, what does Hume say? That is a question. Karim, you continue. What does Hume say here?
He says that every man will have this kind of sensory experience. So that makes him to think this is ethical or this is unethical.
So if one pirate, his share is stolen by another pirate, he will feel bad. So feeling bad is the reason why stealing became vice. That is what Hume is saying. It is not that they sat and discussed that we shouldn't steal rationally arrived. No. And if they feel bad about stealing from the society, they can't survive. So they will not feel bad about stealing from the society. They will feel bad about stealing among themselves. So it may be within a circle, but goes by the senses. And without that sensory data, without those senses, there cannot be any morality. Arvind, what do you say? Did you follow this much? Whoever can appear, you please switch on the videos. Class will be like real class, offline class if you switch on the videos, unless there is a problem or, okay, let us make it as close to offline as possible. Actually, if you make it offline and then everybody is speaking, it's much better than offline, because in offline, everybody can't speak. Because the class cannot follow what one person is speaking offline, but in online, everybody can follow. That is why, that is one reason teacher need not say everything in online. One student can do and teacher can supplement. Gautam, you want to say something? What did you feel? What do you feel about among pirates? They don't want to steal among themselves, but they want to steal from the society. What do you think about that? Is it because pirates are bad, or you think it is human nature?
It is human nature, I think.
Human nature or species nature, more generally?
We are specifically talking about humans. So
That's
human
true.
nature.
That's true.
It's human nature that they will feel bad to steal among themselves, as they feel as a group or a separate community among themselves. And they see
an Indian should be sympathetic to another Indian, but not to a Pakistani. Okay, a Reddy should not hurt another Reddy, but doesn't mind hurting a lower caste. That is common, isn't it so?
Yes.
Please take time. That's a fact of life. We are always in circles. Be it a country or a caste or a class. Why is it so? That's how we feel. So a Dalit girl raped hurts Dalits because they think it is like us. Rape of a middle class affects middle classes or larger society because they think it could have happened to me, like that. Sensation. Why Delhi rape case was such a horrible thing? Because it was beyond imagination of anybody. It is not logically thought out. It just imagined and the cruelty felt. So Hume is saying it is all by feelings and not logical dialectical reasoning. Do you know the implications of this? The implication is that for some reason feelings are cut off. Man becomes a beast. That is the point. His actions look monstrous. But behind that, only one very simple thing happened. Sympathy cut off. It was like a small thread, just cut off. Under what circumstances it got cut off is a different issue. But once it is cut off, the consequences can be disastrous. And if one pirate doesn't feel for another pirate, one thief doesn't feel for another thief, can't they do anything together? Can they do anything together?
No.
They can't. It means sympathy and ethics is the basis of collective life. Collective life is impossible without morality, which means without sympathy. Robbers cannot have a successful robbery if they don't get along with each other, if they don't have any sense of morality. So Hume is seeing why can't man just do what he wants? Why these morals? What is some consistency among this moral code? Why should like this? Hume and Kant are strange characters. When everybody is worried why people are immoral, Hume and Kant are thinking why people are moral in the first place. They think it's just sympathy, it's just sensory data. You get hurt. So a robber thinks, if I am robbed by my friend, how do I feel? No, that is bad. Feels that way. So sensation is the source of morality, and pleasant sensation is the virtue, and unpleasant sensation is the vice, and not the reasoning. That is Hume's point. People don't reason out and then find out that is virtue and that is vice, but people can feel good and bad. But it operates in a circle, in a limited circle. So you can't say if he's truly sympathetic, why is he like this? No. And I want you to examine the people whom you find nasty or odd and unconnected have lack of sympathy in them. It can be mother's relationship with child, father's relationship. They may not even know that they are hurting. They speak in a way that they have no clue to why that they are hurting. Sometimes they may not be in a position to read the face. So they just don't feel how they are hurting. They just don't go through those sensations at all. They're blunted. So Hume's point is that it is not about man's reasoning, it is about the preservation of the sympathy. If the sympathy is retained, he is ethical. If it is disrupted, no, it is difficult. Which means, what is it that glues human society's sympathy? Any association, sympathy. So there cannot be any society, any group without morals, which means without sympathy. It is not about higher living. Life is impossible without a code. So something like deception, if I deceive him, it hurts. So it becomes a vice. Think of forgiving, even if I have done something, he didn't hold it against me. Wow, it's such a pleasant thing. Or somebody is forgiven, you feel good. That's a pleasant thing. A hit B irrationally, you feel bad, as if you are sympathy. When we watch movies, we go through sensations, pleasantness and pain. When good happens, pleasant. Bad happens, pain. Okay. People are subjected to this common set of sensations. Okay. It's not like a reasoning club. So Hume is saying everything boils down to sympathy, ability to connect. And the implication is that morality, foundation for morality is the preservation of that faculty. And I think this is somewhat being eroded. When you are given too much of work, too ambitious, extremely busy with your own life, you tend to be less sympathetic towards others. You don't have time in the first place. Okay. So Hume's point is, it is not through reason we arrive at what is ethical, what is good, what is virtuous, or their opposites. But it is through sensations we have these feelings. But remember, it operates in a limited circle. Because you identify with certain people only, or with a group. Collectivity always has a boundary. There is nothing like universal brotherhood and universal. It's not true. There is always a boundary. You may talk about non-violence, but it is not likely that non-violence is extended to animals. We think of human progress, but do we think of progress of other species? No. When we talk about sustainable agriculture or sustainable development, we talk in terms of that we can't carry on like this if we hurt them. It is not out of our interest in trees and oceans and other species. It is out of our own interests. So even people who are talking about climate change and thinking about humankind is at a threat of extinction, they are thinking of humankind only, not other species. In fact, it may be good for other species if humans die. Okay, surely it will be gain for some species. What is a loss to humans? So there is always a boundary to sympathy. But it is just that to the mainstream society, robbers are very narrow. In the mainstream society, if a person is a patriot, wow, he's a great person. He doesn't see he is narrow compared to another country. So if you are accommodated in that group of narrowness, then you admire. If you are outside that group, then you make him bad. It is like that. So Hume's point is morality is essential for collective life. Number two, and that comes from sensations rather than reasoning. And it is obvious that I don't know whether he said it or not, it is obvious that these feelings are limited, not applicable to any life or any species or anything. Is it clear? Okay. Next.
Sir.
Please.
Sir, there can be an example. Sir, for example, when we study about nirvana or moksha, sir, it is always written that those who attain such state, they start identifying with all of existence. And then there flows an infinite amount of love from them. And then their level of morality, it is so immense that it cannot be matched by somebody normal. So, sir, this same theory can be applied there.
We will look into that. We will look into it after the Western theories are covered. We will do Buddha, and then we will do another Indian thinker, Sri Aurobindo. Okay, we'll discuss this process. Okay.
Sir,
Sir,
Hume based his theory on feelings or sensation. Another aspect, I think, that drives human action is a sense of validation, a sense of identity. Because, for example, I may speak about environmental concerns, and society would appreciate me. But if I go against my country on an environment aspect, like suppose if there is some secret report by the government, which if I disclose it, then it brings bad name to India at global scale. Then India as a society would not support me because it defames our identity and our country's status.
That's true. It is like in a group of robbers, if one robber is leaking the information to the bank or to the other society, so he'll be considered disloyal. So always group norms operate.
Sir, yes, I want to say that even though we have that guilt of
we'll come to that. We just no, we're not bringing guilt or anything. We're just looking at why certain things are considered virtues and vices from the viewpoint of sensations.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Hume's point is it is not reason but sensation. Socrates and Plato, Aristotle did not think like feelings, sensations. They basically thought in terms of reasoning. Man is a rational animal, reasoning creature, dialectical reason. That is how they went. But Hume's observation is different. So this doesn't seem to be reasoning. It is so natural. One doesn't have to be logical, equipped, not like this. It is very natural. It's about feelings. And so even if you reason, if you don't have feelings, it is difficult. Okay, so feelings are related to morality, and morality is related to collective life. Morality is related to collective life. These are interlinked. So don't think of morality something like honesty, integrity, not taking money, and not just that. It's so central to collective life. Okay. Next, Kant.
Collective life in a sense, in terms of socialization, you
exactly. Any group is not possible. Group cannot exist without morals, without a code.
Sir, but within the context of Hume, we are talking about morality, not ethics, right, sir? It is not something which is expected
same.
behavior.
We are same thing. So we are using it same. Unless we make a distinction somewhere, you are equating all these things as one and the same. Ethics,
morality and ethicality.
Morality, ethics, virtue, good, all that.
Okay.
Now, since she raised it anyway, difference between morality and ethics is that some people will say what society brings is morality, what philosophers reflect is ethics. It is like that. Ethics is considered to be a reflection on morality. Ethics is a discipline, or ethics is also defined as moral science. It is like that. So morality is defined as a code. Ethics is considered a reflection. What is moral? The question is what society thinks moral. What is ethical? Tell me, what do you think is ethical? It is like that. So that's how people make distinction. Okay, now Kant. Tell me how Kant differed with Hume.
Hume believed that the way one feels that
Explain Hume, Kant now.
Okay. Kant feels that socialization is not the base for one's perception of what is moral or what is immoral. So he feels that there is something called, by birth, it is not like man is not having anything like how Hume thought of, and it is not purely due to socialization. And it is...
Please.
Man will have...
Kant is saying that human mind is inheriting something. That is, something is coming by birth. And Hume said, by birth, man is getting sympathy. Kant says, by birth, he is getting something. What is that? Categorical imperative. Kant's central concept is categorical imperative. Categorical imperative. This is a strange thing. Kant says man is invariably forced to ask a question like this. What if others do the way I do? I steal. Man will ask, what if others also steal? What if I am stolen? So whatever I do, what if others do? Man will ask. He can't escape by birth. And when he asks, what answer he will get? When he thinks, okay, society is fine, then that is a virtue. When he thinks society will be bad, then that will be a vice. Plus minus. Okay. So if I steal somebody, what if others steal mine? What if others steal? So he will ask, what if others steal mine? What if everybody steals? That is bad. So this is a bad thing. I gave something. What if everybody gives something to the fellow? It is good. So it is a good thing. So Kant approach is rational. That is, each person asks, what if? If what if is leading to a positive thing, that is a virtue. If it is leading to a negative thing, I can put down your hand. If it is leading to a negative thing, then it is a vice. So that is what is called a categorical imperative. But the main point with Kant is, every person is born with this question. It means he has an idea whether he is a good person or a bad person. And he doesn't want to be a bad person. Kant is saying, these are all by birth. Tell me, is he right? My favorite person is, have you come across any person who said, I'm a bad person?
Can you mute Arvind?
Hmm?
Can you mute Arvind?
Arvind, okay, please. So did you come, this is very important, did you come across any person who said, see, I'm a bad person? Sunil, you seem to have come across.
Sir, I myself believe I am a bad person.
Okay, that is very interesting. Tell me why you think so.
I don't know. I feel sometimes I behave and not the way I am required to. Later on, I regret. So some sort of that situation.
That's true. But on the whole, what do you feel? It is true. You do certain bad things. But do you want to do more of bad things, or do you want to do more of good things?
I want to do good things.
That means you're a good person and you want to be a good person.
But sir, I want to be and I am. So I'm comparing that way.
Exactly. So you want to improve, but why do you want to improve? Why do you want to be a good person?
To get accepted.
Why don't you like being bad? Why don't you tell a friend, you helped me, but do you know, I won't help you. I'm so happy about it. That is the point. See, for example, you can feel, okay, I did these bad things. I want to be good. I want to be better. But Kant is asking, why do you think like that? Because we think basically I am good, and so I can't be like this and I should be really good. It is like that. I don't like myself to be bad. All these things. That is what goodness is.
Kant is saying acceptance, right, sir? Acceptance by others.
Acceptance by
others, like approve your behavior gets approved by others.
No, that is true. But Kant is saying, before others approve, do you approve yourself? Kant is not talking about external thing. Kant is talking about yourself. He is not saying everything that you do, you think is good. Often it is the case that when you do something bad, more likely to say, no, I shouldn't have done. Or I did this bad thing because you did this before. Or I did this bad thing because unless I do this, you are going to do this to me. Basically, you have some justification. You have some reason to do something bad, because of which you basically think you are good and you can be good. Under certain circumstances, you did a bad thing, but otherwise you wouldn't have done. Tell me, is it not like that, Sunil?
Yes, sir.
Kant is not saying you think every action of yours you think is good. No. You think good, bad, but you want to be good. Not for the sake of others, but for yourself. Because categorical imperative is within you. I shouldn't steal. Why? Because if others steal, no. So that's why I shouldn't steal.
But does it apply to normal behavior also? I mean, outside the normal behavior. So like if there is someone corrupt man, so while he is corrupting, he won't be thinking that I am doing it.
Why would he think? He will think the world is corrupt. How will I survive? The person below me is taking money. The person above me is taking money. And even if I don't take, bad thing is going to be done. And so I am taking money. Kant knows that. Kant knows the world is full of evil people. He has no doubt about that. But the point is, why should this person think somebody above me is bad and somebody below me is bad, even if otherwise I won't take, bad thing will be done? Why should he think? Why can't he think somebody above me is honest, somebody below me is honest, the world is honest, but see, I am doing bad things? You don't come across a person like that. It means he has to justify his bad action with so many other bad actions in terms of how will I survive otherwise. So the point is, why should he justify himself? Because of categorical imperative. He can't survive otherwise. That is what Kant, just one second. That is what Kant is looking at. Kant knows that there are corrupt people. So if he's doing bad things, he has to do all kinds of reasoning. This is for this thing, the reason brain is used finally to justify itself. Kant knows it will justify. But Kant is asking, why do they take so much trouble to justify? Kant's answer is that something inside. And how true is it? You can say, you haven't come across a person who thinks he is bad in a fundamental sense. You will see in the world that people's perception of bad people. Okay, you think he is bad, but when you ask him, he will have his own perspective. How good he is compared to the people of his reference. Okay, one gangster thinks I am involved simply in smuggling, but I never kidnapped girls. That's a good thing. And you people kidnap girls. See, that is very bad. So within that, there are a different set of norms. So the people who maintain a prostitution racket, they will say, see, we may maintain prostitutes, but we give their abuse properly. We don't harass them. We don't do any violent things. We are interested in their safety. And that's why we are good people within their norms. So Kant is looking, why this human desperation to be good? Why can't they simply say, see, we are bad, what is the problem? In fact, it is rebels who define good and bad in a unique way and then say they are bad. People like Ram Gopal Varma and things like that. People like that. But they don't really think that they are bad. They define certain things. If, for example, Socrates might say, I am bad, given your definition of goodness. It is like that. But not that they actually think they are bad. Okay, Deepthi.
Sir, that question of what if everyone does the same act involves some element of thinking. So categorical imperative means that small question, that small thinking, or the internal like reflex action, consciousness, Which can we define categorical imperative as? Thinking or
consciousness, both. That's called conscience.
Both.
This is called conscience rather than consciousness.
Yes, sir. Yes. Exactly. So it is both.
This is conscience. Kant called it categorical imperative, but generally we call it conscience. Okay, and everyone has conscience.
Okay. Sir.
Just one second. So, are you convinced that man has a desperate need to be good? I mean, that is my question. It is not that the people are good. Hume and Kant are not saying that. They are not naive. But from an objective point of view, there may be good and bad, but they are looking at from their subjective point of view. Okay, like discussion between two gangsters. There's a movie, right? And one gangster explains that we should confine to smuggling heroin, and another gangster says, no, why should we confine to smuggling? We should kidnap girls. What is wrong? Other person says it's unfair. What we are doing is unfair. How can you talk about morals within this? Okay. It is not true. There are morals within. Okay. So, there are always limits, but within the limits, moral code operates, conscience operates. You can't apply one criteria, your definition of goodness on others. That is not true. So Kant is saying that they have their own notions. So he is thinking, why should they try so desperately to be good? Why can't they simply say, okay, let us be bad? And you know what it means? It means that if you are doing things which you don't think with good, you feel bad. That is what conscience is. That may explain why honest people are strong. This is a source of guilt. Conscience, guilt are the outcomes. Guilt is an outcome of not following conscience. So Kant is using a technical word, categorical imperative, but in general, we call it guilt, we call it conscience. Again, without this categorical imperative, group life is not possible. It is just that Hume is thinking from sensations point of view and Kant is thinking from some structure within the mind. Man is condemned like that. So Kant is thinking rationally. But difference between Kant and Socrates is that Socrates is having a big dialogue. However, so much is possible, but Kant is giving one simple formula. What is justice? It is simple, it is similar to whatever think should not be done to you, don't do it to others. That is a quote. Categorical imperative, something like that. It's a very simple formula, not an elaborate discussion. And he's saying it, one is born with it. So this is how man is condemned to be moral, because of which social life becomes possible. You can apply an objective criteria and then say how people are immoral. That is one way of looking at it. But if you ask, why should people be moral in the first place? then you see that there is much, much more morality than immorality. Why people behave in an extraordinarily moral ways. They don't hit each other, they don't cheat each other. Okay, they are polite, extraordinarily polite, compared to what they could have done just like. So they are looking at very foundational level. Okay, you want to ask something, Deepthi? Bharat, what do you say?
I agree, sir. 100%.
Devansh, please.
Sir, this Kant also said about
Can you switch on the video?
universalizability. Yes, sir. Okay.
Devansh.
Sir, Kant also talked about universalizability. So, but if I am a robber and I don't universalize, I only think in terms of other robbers, then that is not following categorical imperative because I violate that universalizability. I'm not thinking of everyone.
Universal doesn't mean really universal. Everybody has a circle. Robber circle is narrow. That's all. An Indian is not thinking of Pakistani like that.
And sir, second thing, you talked that when sympathy is cut off, people can become a beast. So, sir, can categorical imperative also be cut off?
Yes, I think so. Somewhere, I mean, you have to see actual people. I mean, it's not that you have to, you should recognize, haven't you seen among the group of relatives, some people are more connected and some are off? Isn't it so? I mean, others also can see, okay, she is not a good mother. She can't be a good friend. She's just like that only. Isn't it? Whereas some people are more affectionate, compassionate. Okay, people have a very higher opinion of them. You will see a difference in sympathy factor. So some are really cut off. Some are categorical imperative cut off or some sympathy cut off. So essentially, there are some core processes when they are disrupted, severe damage is possible. When they are disrupted, it's extremely simple thing. Once there is a disruption, what kind of actions they are possible of, they are capable of, could be horrifying. But the basic process is very simple. That's what I have understood. Basic process is same. A horrifying action is something that is projected on a wider screen. But the basic process are same. Okay. So Hume and Kant put together explain why man is moral. That is number one. And also which is moral. They're explaining which is virtue and which is a vice. And then both of them are saying that there is a universal element in morality and ethics. There is a universal element. Sympathy is universal. Categorical imperative is universal. Man is like this. Life is otherwise not possible. Okay. It is only that if you apply a particular criteria that this is honest, you will find enough number of dishonest people. I'm not saying you shouldn't apply a criteria. Okay. So you should see that against a criteria, you find many dishonest people. But if you go inside a person, he has his own notions of right, wrong, how he is right, how he is good, how others cheated him. And when he cheated, why he had to cheat because of some other reasons, why he stole. You know, in a movie, if a hero has to be shown as a robber, then what will the story be like? His mother was ill and his mother needed a medicine and he went to medical shop. That fellow didn't give, so he stole and caught, was in a police station. And a thug came around that time and he was brought up by a thug. Only after he fell in love, he became a good man. Isn't it so? But how about the villain? There is no story. Won't villain have a story? Why? Because people want to feel they are good. So they can't do a hero doing a bad thing. So hero has a story. Villain, of course, bad. So hero cannot be bad without reason. And villain should not have reason. That's how movies are normally made. If villain has a reason, then you have a doubt. If he also has a reason, then however. But if you can understand villain also has a reason, that becomes ground for compassion. Why I bring examples of robbers is that you should feel that is the same process. Man is same. It is just a matter of how wide these circles are. Okay, so against an objective criteria, some people are good and bad. There is no doubt about it. But Hume and Kant are looking at a subjective criteria, subjective world, and then seeing why they are good, why they have to be good. So why is man condemned in a way, condemned to be good? Why can't he simply say, see, I want to be bad and I am bad and get lost? He just can't survive. So within his own terms, he is good. Not that every action of his is good. It's not like that. It is that even if he is not good, he feels bad about being bad. He wants to be good. So if I am killing you, I have some reason to kill you. You cheated me. And if people cheat one another, this gang cannot survive. Okay, next.
Sir, sir, I think this can support why capital punishment should be banned.
Why?
Sir, because a person by nature do not want to be bad and has a genuine justification, or under the compulsion of circumstances he had to act like that. So killing him would be.
But why capital punishment? Why should there be any punishment except to protect others or to change that person?
For deterrence.
No, just 1 second. Take time. There should be. Why should there be any punishment at all?
Sir, to discourage such activities in the society.
That's all.
And also to provide justice to the victims.
Why? What is that justice? Why do you what is meant by justice?
Because they feel that the accused should not be left.
Why?
Without any consequences.
Why?
because they are hurt.
Why should you support this? They may feel that the crime is so bad that he should be hanged, and so you support. So what is this concept of justice? So how is that a justice at all? So punishment should be for two things, so that he will not repeat. What else? Or others will not do similar thing. That's all. It should be as minimal as possible. And if there is a way by which he can be persuaded and others prevented, do that. So justice cannot be, I feel this man doesn't have a right to live because he killed my son. That is not justice. If there can be a kind of compensation, that's fine. But certain things, there cannot be any compensation for certain things. Money, rape, there cannot be any compensation. So what do you do? So justice cannot be revenge. So it is not capital punishment. We should ask why punishment at all. We should be very clear. It should serve two purposes. He should not commit it again. But if he is going to be changed, he is not going to commit. And next, others should not follow that model. There should be deterrence. Nothing more than that. Not that how grave the crime you think. That idea is bad, wrong. So justice is not revenge. Correct.
So ideally it cannot be achieved, right, sir? So how can we ensure that criminal won't repeat that act?
We don't know, but we are saying that should be the target. Maybe more punishment or whatever, but we should have the clarity regarding why we want to do something. Isn't it? The clarity that justice is not revenge.
Yes.
That clarity should be there. Okay. Next, continuing international relations.
Sir, I have a small doubt.
Hmm.
Sir, so those who commit suicide, are there this thing cognitive?
Suicide is a different issue. We will look into that. Deepti.
Sir, can we say that cutting off of categorical imperative can be cause behind psychopath nature?
Pathological nature. Yes, that is true. Extreme cases cannot be explained except through certain basic changes within the person's mind. Sure. Okay. Now, Kant's theory of peace. See, we discussed realism. Tell me, what are the salient aspects of realism?
Classical,
classical realism.
Classical relied on only a balance of
power, self-interest, and thought in terms of state. Always thought in terms of state as a unit, power, power. Yes, self-interest.
Self-interest.
Okay. And so these three, particularly power, is a realist variable. This is a realist variable. Kant proposed that three variables can bring peace. Okay. For example, according to realism, balance of power will prevent war. Okay. But other than power, tell me what are the variables Kant said? He gave also three variables.
Economic interdependence.
Economic
Democratic
great. Democracy. And then?
international laws.
That's all. This is called theory of liberalism. Okay. Look at Europe now. Europe, democratic, interdependent, and so many IGOs, but finally there is one European Union. So Kant thought that world also can move in that direction. So that is called liberalism. Institutional liberalism means promotion of peace through IGOs. So take this question. After 8-9 classes, you are going to have one comprehensive test, 3-hour test. And after 2-3 Padlet exercises, I'm going to give some exercises on white paper. So you have to write and submit. Okay. Because I want to see your handwriting and other things. Only after that we'll go for comprehensive test. Okay. Okay. This is asked in 2017. Strength, peace, and security are considered to be the pillars of international relations. Elucidate. Strength, peace, and security.
So strength, peace, and security are constituents of
to be the pillars of international relations. Elucidate. Strength, peace, and security are considered to be the pillars of international relations. Elucidate. Very loose question. What is about strength? What does strength mean? Power, peace, security. You can write a general answer to this. How peace is disrupted and how peace can be promoted. Okay, realist theory, liberal theory, and how a better world is possible. There is no, it is not very specific. Okay, I'll read out one more question. At the international level, bilateral relations between most nations are governed on the policy of promoting one's own national interest without any regard for the interests of other nations. This leads to conflicts and tensions between the nations. How can ethical considerations help resolve such tensions? Discuss with specific examples. So basically, how can ethical considerations help resolve tensions across nations? Okay, I think you can take that as a question. Can ethics play a role in resolving disputes across nations? Can ethics play a role in resolving disputes across nations? Actually, the technique to these questions is just one thing, and after that you go for multiple examples. How a problem could have been solved, how a problem is actually solved, whatever. That is why what the teacher can do is, he just gives an approach. He gives an approach and what makes a good answer. But the examples you generate and how you write is so much is in your hands. So this is not amenable to cut and paste approach where I tell everything and then you like that. So it's more like an approach. This makes a good answer and some core concepts. So can ethics play a role in resolving disputes across nations? So what is it? What can be a theoretical thing to this from what we discussed?
Sir,
can ethics play a role? Devan?
Sir, sense of community, which we discussed, and that comes from ethics. And when there is sense of community, the role of power reduces and the role of justice increases.
Exactly. That's it. That can be the theoretical framework. International society increases the role of ethics. Absence of society will increase the role of power and self-interest. And here, I want you to quote Thucydides and Kant and whatever the case studies. And more examples. Then you will get more marks. Let me tell you, even if you know about realism and then this theory, if you don't give sufficient examples, your answer will get less marks compared to a person who may not know any theory, but he will simply define how peacefully disputes can be resolved and give a variety of examples. That makes reasonable answer. So just because you know theoretically, don't think you will get more marks. No. Theory gives an edge. Actually, I would say this is the problem with ethics and essay paper. Even if a person doesn't know anything, if he can make out that, see, basically peaceful resolution is possible and write up with examples, that makes a good answer. He doesn't have to know about Kant and Thucydides, no, nothing. Power and no, not at all necessary. So your knowledge may not fetch more marks than that. So how will your knowledge will fetch more marks? To this theory, if you give more examples, elegant, quotations, thinkers, maybe some data. For example, in the one video, I gave a lot of data about Kant's peace theory. Okay. Then it makes a different answer. When an examiner feels, remember, he's just not producing, he has read, he knows this is superior, then he'll give very high score. Okay, this is how ethics and essay paper is different from other papers. In other papers, you have some core knowledge, and if you don't know, you can't write. But here is not like that. There is nothing like core knowledge. You can write anything, and if you write well, you get marks. Okay, so just apply your mind and take care and try to get top scores in these two papers. Because very easy to score, there is little to read. But then you practice examples, conflicts across nations, just write down. Finally, when they say you don't think in the examination, it means you have to work a lot before the exam. You know, your Padlet answers are really good. I don't have much to comment. But the main examination is that many questions, limited time, and you have to be much more innovative. You have to be much more thorough, very comprehensive. This is very simple. The Padlet exercise is very simple. I am giving a point, I am giving example, one small thing, and you just reproduce it. That's good. But main thing, you need to have much more thoroughness in your preparation, which calls for revisions, listing of examples, memorizing them, so many. quotations also. Whatever you are reading, identify the quotation and memorize. There is a quotation on sympathy on Hume, quotation on that is how I wrote the book. I knew that this quotation should be used. Quotation by Hume, quotation by Kant, like that. All core statements, to all core statements, I put it in quotes. In option also, quotation is important. Thinker and quotation. Do the same thing in essay also. Okay, is it clear? So, can ethics play a role in resolving disputes across nations? So, even if you know the central theme, the quality of your answer can vary by so many types. It's all about the power of examples. Okay. So take time, but do it within the word limit, please. 150, 160, like that. Okay. And try to see within the word limit how to put more points. So they have mentioned in the syllabus ethics of international relations. So how countries can move from power to justice? That is the issue. Okay. Any other questions? Any questions?
Sir, even in essay, we need to give examples similarly.
Exactly. Examples. Okay. Example is not like you just state an elaborate theory and then say, for example, one. It's not like this. See, most students think example is like this. Elaborate theory and for example. This is their idea of example. But another way can be elaborate example and this is a theory. Theoretical statement here. The powerful way of writing. Just look your answers from this point. People think they had to explain it theoretically. Sometimes, you know, the theory doesn't make sense. It is too obvious. Through example, you convey the theory. Is what example? And this shows. That's all. Theory. Students don't think of this as a possible structure at all. Devansh, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
They don't think this is possible. This is a legitimate structure. So what happens if you don't think this is possible is that when you are explaining theory, you do it loosely and you have so much of an example, you crush it. You are not using your knowledge. You loosely do theory and when you know so much about example, you crush it. But otherwise, do example elaborately and say something about the theory. And let me tell you, one paper is evaluated by only one examiner. And he doesn't know that you are using same examples across all the papers. He doesn't know you are putting the same quotations. So prepare some set of quotations, some set of examples which can be used across. So that is why it's very important to have clarity over issues. If you have that clarity, you can easily take that clarity to any discipline and any person. If you are doing cut and paste, it cannot be transferred. So I was shocked by this. I mean, I understood it only from student scripts. Power of examples. I made a video you can watch. Power of examples, diagrams, and facts. I was shocked by the examples.
So where on YouTube?
I did, I think in your own group, I posted some videos on 20 examination. 3 videos are there. I'll remind once again. So one video on examples, one video on facts, one video on diagrams. I just went by toppers papers and then saw, for example, first ranker was very good at diagrams. I just gave a comprehensive review of what kind of diagrams are possible. And another topper is very good at examples.
So can you repost?
Fine, I'll repost. It is 21 October, ethics and essay. In that group, go to the beginning. There is a list. Feynman IAS is for you. General approach. Okay, I posted to your recent group, F21 October. So this gives various subjects, and in the end, power of examples, power of diagrams, and power of facts. Okay, is it clear now?
Sir, one last doubt. So in this scenario, example and theory, so we need
just
to
one second. Just one second. Is that video clear? I posted it.
Yes.
So you just go through it. Last 3 videos, one example and another facts and diagrams. I was shocked by what kind of diagrams are possible. Okay, so example and theory, multiple examples. Sometimes there is very little theory. You convey through example the theory. So in your answers, at many places there is a loose talk. In that loose talk, you waste words and time. Not necessary. When there is nothing much in terms of theory and you know example, just say through example. So be familiar with certain good examples and use the same examples. Examples of certain events, some people, this is what he did under these circumstances, like that. Here's a good example. Remember, finally, how you convey the point. How you convey the point. You can use anything. But often in this paper is that you know the point, but you don't know how to write so many words on it and how many points you can write. How do you generate the content? That is the problem. Okay. In general studies paper, they ask something on art and architecture. You have no idea, so there is nothing to think. But here you know, you may have a feeling, you may explain, you may have a conviction also, but it is about what you write. Because finally, he goes by what is written there. He is not having a conversation with you, how deeply you understood the question. He goes by what is there on the script. So how you put what is inside you on the paper is the most important, not how much you think and how much you know. And that calls for when you are reading, you should think where this can be used. It is like that. That is why they say you need multiple revisions, because that brings thoroughness. Deepti? Deepti?
Yes, sir.
You are asking something?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay. So is it clear? So you go through examples and facts and diagrams. Okay. So I would say in your answers, examples are there, but try to increase and try to diversify. In today's answer, only one person I commented. He really looked at levels, individual, international, national, or a state community. Levels is one way of thinking. Okay, levels. How to generate points? That's the point. How do you generate? Levels is one approach. Economic, political, social is another approach. It's like that. Variety of ways. How you address the same point across variety of dimensions. Because it's all about generating sensible information. Because otherwise you know what the point is. You know it and you understood it. It is about how much you write. Is it clear? So that is the Padlet question.